what you're looking at is myself. I want to talk about myself and the kind of person, and not just the kind of person I am, but the person that I am, you know. I want to talk about my feelings. I talk about how I feel as a person. As you see in that picture, that's me. And you definitely see is a sad man. A man desperate for many things. Desperate for love. And seems broken because of love. But also defeated. I have seen myself go through shit time and time again. But I will say this. The most important three answers you should ask someone, especially me, is even not the answers, but these are the questions that are really important, not to answer, but they're important to answer. Do you really care about me? Do you really love me? And do you really see me as your friend? Those are the most important questions that should be answered. Because I want to know. I know that my audience, you know, would probably do the same. They would probably say the same. Is. But the truth is, those three questions go to someone very important. Someone that I know personally. Someone that has been there, seen that, and done it, you know? Not done it, but like, has been there. My life is not full of happy, shiny rainbows. No. My life has been filled with a lot of sadness. You know what really kills me inside? My depression is what's really taking me down a lot. I mean, not, and it's affected me so bad. Even I know what's wrong with me. Even I know. I've had it since I was young. Because you know that I want to be a man that wants to be loved. Not just by his, subscribers, but by the people that really cared about him. I'm that person. YouTube will always be. This channel is my legacy. And it always has and always will be. Because I know that when I'm gone, people will see what's left of the man I truly, the man that I was. And I want people to see the kind of man, the kind of man, the kind of man that made progress, that did so much hard work to build this channel, to from the ground up, to where it is from then to where it is today. But it's not just that. I made this channel not just because of myself, but for others. And I wanted to see how much they enjoyed my videos and how they talked about them. That's what I like to hear or talk about. Even as a man, men suffer more they suffer way more, you know. Today's, obviously this is an important month, not just for Pride, but for men's mental health as well. I never really talked about myself, but about sometimes when even after I do videos, sometimes after I'm done a video, behind the scenes I get depressed, and even I talk about that. Even I feel like I should talk about that and say that is true. And why I get depressed is because why men get depressed is because they're desperate for love, or at least to get love from a woman, right? And they never get that love because they always get rejected or they get friend zoned and shit. And that's how I feel. Kind of sucks, but that's how life goes sometimes. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I don't have the best mind, obviously, or the best heart. And I don't have the best, I'm not the best person, I'm not invincible, I'm not like, some superhero. I'm just a normal guy with an autistic brain, just going through shit. Anxiety, depression, a lot of things. But what's really important is not just caring about yourself, but caring about the person that you love. Knowing that they're okay, and asking questions like if they're okay or not. And always, another important thing is to watch over your friend's health and to make sure that they're okay. Because if they're not, then there's something wrong. I talked about myself when I made those videos about mental health and depression. I knew how I felt during those videos, and I've looked back on it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not depressed. Well, I might be depressed right now, but sometimes we just gotta fight for our battles and our problems and our egos. And sometimes it's not okay. There's been times where I felt uncomfortable. There's been times where I felt like my boundaries were broken. Where I felt so broken that it was hard to come back from something. I've been there. Every person I know has issues of their own to deal with, and so do I. I have my own issues. Every single person on this earth has a flaw and their own issues. We all have problems that sometimes they're hard to solve and deal with. And when you're in a situation that you just don't want to be in, you have to figure a way how to get out of it. And it's really tricky. It's like solving math puzzles and shit. But even as a man, I really struggle with myself all the time. I really like to say this, but autistic bullying is just not okay, And I've talked about it because it's something that I feel like also mocking an autistic person, making fun of them, is not okay either. I've been able to put up with that shit for as long as I can remember. As long as I can. Because I'm able to put up with it because of how strong I am. When you try to make fun of me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work very well. Because you know why? Because it does nothing. Sometimes you just need to lose your shit. And other times you just don't feel like losing your shit. And I've been there. and I've lost my cool before. I mean, it's not really good throwing things. It's not good when I get angry. But I'm gonna say this: you have to have my trust. Trust is very important. My respect is important, and you do not want me to be. You don't want to be on my bad side. Never be on my bad side. Because if you get on my bad side, we're gonna be having problems and drama that you will not want. But if you get on my good side, then then we can then it's good. Then we're all good. It happens, right? Being I honestly think I understand why I'm angry, why I'm upset, why I feel frustrated, why I feel depressed. I understand it all. It's because I'm a desperate man. I may say I'm a broken man or defeated man. And whatever. But the point is I I don't know. I've had my moments where I'm not happy with myself. And sometimes when I have those kind of moments, I really need time alone. And that's what you need to know about me. So if I get upset, angry, and get into a fight, an argument, that's when I'm like, we gotta stop. That's when I need my own space. Because in relationships, it's good to have an argument. It's good to have arguments, but sometimes it's also important to have space. Given that I have learned that as a person, but I've learned to. Well, I have never been in a relationship in my life. I just know that's something that can be done. But I've learned to be the man that I should be, and being autistic, and telling people I'm autistic and having learning disability and all these things, well, and that's what I'm trying to do is tell people that I have this, to show my true self, instead of just masking it, and just not saying I'm autistic. Because realistically I am. I've been diagnosed since I was 2 years old. And I know that right now I'm having a discussion about myself, but you really need to care about the people that you love. And you need to really love those people. Because losing them can hurt. You never know if I'm gone, in a week. You never know if I'm going to pass away in a week. You never know that I'm not going to be around, and I'm a special person. There's only one of me. So, talk to me. Communicate with me. And spend as much time with me as you can. Before, if something were to happen to me. And I thought about that. And, I think the most important question is, for a person is how do you want to be after you die? Do you want to be buried, cremated, and there's this third option where it involves your body in a tree. I don't know. Steve talked about that, but it involves something about nature, but just drinking a bottle of Coke. I know I talk about myself a lot. And I know that, honestly, that this video is all about me. It is. And in my life, I've always been a shy, I understand how people think I'm weird and fucked up I am, or whatever. But the truth is, man, I'm gonna talk about this. Okay, my life. Everybody thinks that. Not everybody thinks that all I think about is sex. No, not always. No. And I know I have a dirty mind, and it's obvious. Don't we all have dirty minds? I mean, we all do. And I get it. Even we have clean minds as well. But that's the whole thing. I mean, talking about myself is such an important aspect of this channel, but it's also having discussions about things in our lives and stuff is also important too. And I can't always talk about, you know, those three letters. And it's just more than that, you know? I always wanted a woman to just be in a bed next to me. To feel very good about it. And just feel so good that to just, you know... I always wanted to have someone next to me to feel happiness. But also to enjoy my life with and spend more time with. And see them as my best friend. And to just have good laughs and enjoy the movies we watch together, the TV shows. That's what I see, and that's what I wanted. That's all I ever want. And you guys and people think that all I want is sex? No. That's not the answer. I mean, I do, but I want it to spend a lot of time with someone very special because, well, that special someone, but I wanted to say these things because I do. I get people, I understand what my issue is. My issues are. I understand what kind of person I am. And it's hard for, us humans to deal with our problems. Right now, it's not good. Over there in Ukraine, because you see so much depression and all this suffering and devastation and chaos and mischief and murder. I mean, killing. It's horrible to see that. It's worse to watch something die in front of you, because I witnessed that myself. I watched an animal die. Not once. A couple times. I've seen a bird die a few times. I've saw a bird die once, maybe twice. I've witnessed other creatures die too. It's really horrible. But obviously, what is really important is spending time with someone and caring about them and loving them, but also seeing them as your friend. All that stuff is what matters, but also their mental health too, especially mine. And that's all I want to say for today. Thank you, and have a good day. This is Terrence Gerard, and goodbye.